What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. But in this one, we go over Wink Martindale interviewing with some NFL teams, what that means, give the latest there, and also some potential options Michigan could go towards if Wink Martindale does head to the NFL. Also give an update on Ty Haywood, Michigan potentially trying to close that recruitment out this weekend. Michigan also loses another offensive lineman to the transfer portal, and we go over the latest on some transfer portal targets for Michigan, including 2 wide receivers Michigan could go after, and the latest on the remaining targets for Michigan. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and start this video with the latest on Wink Martindale, as Michigan's defensive coordinator is taking NFL interviews right now. It came out yesterday, according to Tom Pelissero. He said that longtime NFL defensive coordinator Wink Martindale is scheduled to interview with the Falcons today and the Colts on Wednesday, per sources, and the Bengals also could have interest in him as well, which he already has completed an interview with the Falcons. They did announce. So this is pretty interesting because, you know, obviously Wink Martindale really turned it up here late in the season for Michigan, had outstanding games against Ohio State and Alabama to finish out what started out as a pretty rough season for Michigan, but closed it out on a high note. And it was a lot thanks to Wink Martindale's defense and the performance of Michigan's defense. Now, whether or not Wink Martindale does leave Michigan or not remains to be known, but what he did say at the beginning of the season, according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverines, that I took this job to stay here all the way until the end. But he said it's the same thing I told Sherrod Moore, the same thing I told Athletics Director Warren Manuel. I took this job to finish my career here. Now, if somebody pulls a Brinks truck in here, I'm not going to say I'm not going to talk to you. But he did say that I took this job to stay, but he didn't leave out the option to talk with teams, or in this case NFL teams, and interview with them. Obviously, he's keeping his options available and open. Now, Michigan, they made him the highest paid college defensive coordinator in the country for a reason, and obviously he kind of got used to the college level as the season went on, and the players kind of learned his system as the season went on, but he also adapted to coaching college players, and it was pretty evident towards the end of the season against Ohio State and Alabama. They were hitting it on all cylinders. Now, Martindale, he'd make $2.5 million this season if he stays, and after making $2.3 million last season. Michigan, though, they might have to up that offer if they want to keep him now with these NFL teams coming in. But Sherrod Moore and Michigan, they obviously are going to do everything they can to keep him. But if it comes down to money, Michigan may not be able to compete with some of these NFL teams, because the Falcons or the Colts or another team could make him an offer he just can't refuse. So we kind of just have to wait and see here. If Wink Martindale were to leave, it would be Michigan's 4th defensive coordinator change in the last 5 years. They went through Mike McDonald was here for a year. He went to the NFL after the 2021 season. Then Michigan brought in Jesse Minter. He obviously left to go to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. And now, Wink Martindale interviewing with NFL teams, and it would be Michigan's 4th change at DC in the last 5 years. And we will go over some, defensive coordinator options for Michigan if Wink Martindale were to leave. But first, did want to give a shout out to BetUS. They have all the odds you need, but BetUS also has a casino for all my followers who like slots or live casino dealers. Take advantage of BetUS's amazing sign-up bonus, 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000, or 250% for crypto sign-up bonus up to $5,000. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, I want to give it a try, go ahead, check out BetUS Sportsbook and Casino at betus.com. But with that, let's go ahead and continue here. And obviously, if Wink Martindale were to leave, it would really suck for Michigan, especially, I thought that Martindale was just trying to get away from the NFL for a couple years. He seemed to really like Michigan and where he was at. Seemed like he was having some fun, and obviously, he isn't gone yet, but it could happen. Now, one guy that Michigan could potentially go after is USC's defensive coordinator, D'Anton Lynn, and he'd probably be on the hot board if Wink Martindale were to leave, because he comes from the Baltimore Ravens coaching tree, which is exactly where Michigan would go right back to, and he kind of runs the same scheme that Mike McDonald and Jesse Minter and even Wink Martindale has run here at Michigan. That's exactly what Sherrone Moore is going to want to keep here at Michigan. So he is a guy that comes from the Ravens tree. Another guy, though, is Baltimore Ravens secondary coach Doug Mallory, which you guys may have heard of his name before, because he is the former Michigan defensive back, and he was a defensive analyst in Ann Arbor from 2021 through 2023. And according to Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider, he said that sources say the name at the top of the board could be Baltimore Ravens coach, secondary coach Doug Mallory. So those are a couple names, potentially if Wink Martindale were to leave. But, obviously Michigan going to do whatever they possibly can to keep Wink Martindale. You already know Sherrone Moore is going to do everything he can, because he was a big reason that Michigan was able to turn the season around, beat Ohio State, beat Alabama, win the bowl game. And right now, obviously, the defense has a ton of momentum going into next season, and if they were to lose Wink Martindale, that could be a little setback for them. But that's the latest there. Then I also wanted to talk about transfer portal news. Not much, but Michigan did lose a player. That is the offensive tackle Jeffrey Percy. The graduate offensive tackle has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Will have 1 season of eligibility remaining wherever he goes. He did appear in 38 games during his Michigan career, with 3 starts at left tackle. He was a guy that did start for Miles Hinton this past season when he was injured, and that now leaves Michigan with just 7 scholarship offensive tackles heading into the winter, with Connor Jones, Evan Link, Andrew Sprague, Ben Roebuck, Blake Frazier, and Brady Norton, and then also potentially incoming freshman, Andrew Webb-Alola for sure, but also potentially Ty Haywood, which is actually the next topic I wanted to talk about. He obviously decommitted from Alabama, the 5-star offensive tackle. Michigan has been going after him ever since really towards the end of the 2025 cycle before early signing period. And Michigan is set to host him at the perfect time. He decommitted this week. They are set to host him this weekend for an official visit. And according to Mike Roach of 24/7 Sports, he said that there's growing anticipation that Michigan can close this deal on this weekend's visit, according to sources close to Haywood. Now, obviously, there's others like Texas Tech, Florida State, who got in it late. So it is looking very good for Michigan and Ty Haywood's recruitment. They could potentially close it up and seal the deal this weekend on his visit. I also wanted to talk about the transfer portal latest there for Michigan, as we did see 2 Penn State wide receivers enter the transfer portal that Michigan could potentially go after if they want to, and that is wide receivers Harrison Wallace III and Amari Evans. Now, Wallace is a 6'1", 198-pound wide receiver. Evans is a 6 foot, 189-pound wide receiver, and they both have 1 season of eligibility remaining. Obviously, the key thing there is they both have Big Ten experience, and Wallace did have 46 receptions for 720 yards and 4 touchdowns this year, and he also played 613 of his 688 snaps out wide this season, which is something Michigan needs, a guy on the outside. And then Evans, he finished the year with 21 receptions, 415 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So those are 2 guys Michigan could go after. There hasn't been anything that has connected Michigan with them yet. They haven't contacted them, but they could pursue them, or Michigan could just wait until the spring portal window. But I did want to give the latest on a couple of other transfer portal targets we have talked about in the past. And first start with Shiaz Pete, which I did give an update on him already a couple days ago. He is down to Michigan and Nebraska, as it appears it has come down to those 2 schools right now. Michigan trying to get him on campus for a visit. They could after the dead period ends on Wednesday, as there was a brief dead period. Michigan, they need an offensive tackle. It's going to be a big selling point for Michigan to Shayez Pete. He can come in here, start right away, and obviously Michigan is known for getting offensive linemen to the NFL and the development. Also got the latest on Thaddeus Dixon. Obviously Michigan took a commitment from Caleb Anderson, although right now it appears North Carolina probably going to get him, as they appear to be the favorite. It's going to be very tough to beat North Carolina out. I think that's why Michigan kind of took a safe route and picked up Caleb Anderson just in case, which could potentially be a steal. He is a lengthy cornerback, and I think he could really pay dividends for Michigan picking him up, as he should add some nice depth for the Wolverines. And also obviously Michigan got the UMass wide receiver transfer Anthony Simpson. The other wide receiver targets we talked about, Caden Robinson of App State, he committed to UCLA. He's off the board. And then also True Edwards, he committed to Kentucky. He did have some credit issues there with Michigan, which always sucks for Michigan. Would have been really awesome to land one of those two wide receivers, especially True Edwards. I really liked him, but Michigan, trying to get somebody from the transfer portal right now, that's really all they need. They need, another offensive tackle and another wide receiver and maybe another cornerback from the transfer portal, but they did pick up Caleb Anderson. So altogether, I think Sherrod Moore did a pretty dang good job here in the transfer portal. They picked up all their needs they needed. Obviously, still got a couple more left to go, and they probably can knock those out in the spring portal if they can't land them here towards the end of this portal window. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Again, shout out to BetUS. Go and check them out and check their casinos out as well at betus.com. But with that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.